Well, Bob, what's better than a Battle of Alberta? The only correct answer is 2 in the span of 4 days. Welcome to Game Keys as we tee up game number 39 for the Edmonton Oilers with 880 CHED's Bob Stauffer. You can hear him alongside Jack Michaels in the broadcast booth. Now, are you expecting to call a game with a lot of intensity and fire based off what we saw 4 days ago, Bob?
Yeah, first of all, happy holidays,
Happy
Tony.
holidays, brother.
I would say this. I expect Calgary to play better than what we saw at Edmonton. I want to give credit to the Oilers as well. That was a strong performance, obviously led by the world's most... Oh, screw it. He's just the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. I was going to say the most dynamic player. No, he's just the best player. He's on a major league heater, 31 points over the last 11 games.
Unbelievable.
Leon Draisaitl gets a hat trick, and I talked to a couple of Flames executives. They're like, we've seen this act before. So it was Edmonton's night on Tuesday night. They took it to Calgary pretty good. I fully expect, and we all know how that game ended with a little bit of fireworks, and I would expect Calgary to be more disciplined out of the gate tonight. Maybe try to give a little bit greater attention to detail and not put Dustin Wolf in a position where he's besieged by himself as much as he was the other night. Because frankly, if not for Dustin Wolf, the Edmonton Oilers might have won that game 7 or 8-1. So tonight, I think we're going to see a much more competitive game. As you know, Calgary's been very good at home.
Yeah, 9-2-1 in their last 12 right here at the Saddle Dome. Now, when it comes to the Oilers and head coach Chris Knoblauch, you talk about the details. Well, all the details remain intact when it comes to the lineup. The forwards and the D pairings remain the same. And Connor Ingram making his 3rd consecutive start here in Calgary.
Well, I think the Oilers know what they have in Calvin Pickard, and I think they're trying to find out what they've got in Connor Ingram, right? With Tristan Jarry out at this time on IR. I'm not surprised that Connor Ingram's getting another start. He's won his first 2 games. He's got a save percentage above 900, and he's got a goals against average of 2. So he gets another look. And to me, it's just simple. If Oilers goaltenders have a save percentage in a game above 900, generally that puts Edmonton in a pretty good spot. And so Ingram gets another call here, and it's quite the journey that we're watching here for a guy trying to resurrect his career. And I know he's got a lot of fans out in oil country already.
And it will be number 39 going up against the expected starter for the Calgary Flames, that being Dustin Wolf. Bob already mentioned the amount of work and the amount of good work he did for the Flames as visitors on Tuesday. Now, when it comes to the Calgary Flames, what is the biggest challenge? Because you have Kadri, who's operating at over a point per game over his last 17. Same with Rasmus Andersson. So a lot of their offensive guys are starting to get their juices flowing. What's turned around here in Calgary?
Well, look, they're hard out because they play hard. They're a competitive team, and I think what happens is, they got off to a rough start where they only won one of their first 8 games. If you take a look at their record since, they've been okay. They are physical. They've got a bit of a, beyond Anderson and Uyghur, you could argue they've got a little bit of a no-name group on the back end right now, and maybe down one of those guys by the deadline, because I think everybody expects Rasmus Anderson to get traded at some point. Up front, they've got, they got some guys that can chip in and contribute on offense. Sharon Govich has had a 30-goal season in this league. So too is Blake Coleman. They made the deal and got Farabee and Frost from the Flyers. You mentioned Kadri. But the one guy I want to mention is Michael Backlund. Michael Backlund plays lights out against Edmonton. He's a tremendous two-way centerman, and he gets all the hard-minute matchups, and the Oilers made an effort to avoid that at times during the started. The Flames started the Backlund line, and the Oilers started the Henrique line to open up against them. The Oilers won't have the Henrique line tonight against the Backlund line. Backlund's likely going to be going up against McDavid, so that's going to be something we'll be watching for.
Backlund has points in 3 consecutive games as the Oilers look to put an end to that, as we are all set for the BOA on Hockey Night in Canada. Can't wait.